characters that are forced to flip by having madness are forced to roll on their own madness table.
I don't think we've really said what a sanity test is yet.
Okay, well let's do that.
So
let's do that.
When you spend myth for anything, you have to make a sanity test. So you make your 2d6 and you add your sanity stat, which for Abigail was 6, if you remember correctly. If you fail, you get a madness point for each mythos that you spent.
Yeah.
So if you use, her ability was a 1 ability, so she uses 1 myth point from the pool to use that ability. It does whatever it does,
Yep.
and she has to make a sanity test. So she rolls 2 dice, she adds 6, and as long as she gets 13 or higher, she's fine. If she gets less than 13, then she spent 1 myth, so she gets 1 madness.
Correct. That's
Upon completion of any action that causes a character to gain a point of madness that would make it go above its madness threshold, it removes all madness points and then immediately rolls 2d6 minus its current madness value, consulting the table that matches the appropriate trait for that character.
roll. But there are four madness tables. Okay.
Yeah.
The fourth one is only really used by one faction at this stage, so you really only have to worry about maybe 1 or 2, depending on what you've got in your force.
Yeah, so you've got mortals, tainted, and myth.
And crypt grub, which is actually quite.
Yeah.
We will have a look at that one.
Moral that is flipped for any reason does not have to make an immediate. Any other reason doesn't have to make an immediate roll.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is nice because you
really
don't want to be rolling on them.
Yeah. So while you're flipped, you have to roll as above and consult the madness table at the start of each round of your activations, at each of your activations. So if you are accumulating madness points while you're
on the altered
side,
it's bad.
Then it's going to make it harder for you to stave off madness.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
but
mortals.
If you have a look, because when models are on the altered side, they don't have a number.
No.
Which means you don't apply it.
No, but you can still get... You still can have madness on you. Madness tokens on you. If you've still got those madness tokens on your altered side, you're really, like, upsetting yourself.
That's right.
That's not a good move. I assume there are ways to, like, give people madness tokens in the abilities and things. You say, well, you get madness token, you get a madness token, or something like that. That would be really cool.
It's the Oprah attack.
But if you do that to someone who is on their altered side and they're making checks, then that is really powerful.
It is, yeah. I mean, if you have a look at the tables once you do there, because again we're going to look at mortal because that's the most common. Yeah, it's quite bad. So we'll work at the bottom, at the top, and work our way down. So the worst result is basically at the top of the.
Yeah. So you're rolling this on 2d6 minus your current madness, and then you consult the table.
Yeah.
So if you get a 1 or less or a critical fail, succumb to madness.
And so the character's mind opens to the Great One. Every fibre of their being is destroyed in a fraction of a second. The character is immediately removed from play. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's
If you get a 2 or a 3, you're in screaming terror.
It's not bad enough that someone's wailing on you. Some big thing's going to reach through the ether and just take you away.
You're mine now. So screaming terror, you suffer hallucinations of tiny biting and stinging creatures covering your body in an effort to get things off. You suffer wounds equal to half your combat attack value. This damage cannot be prevented, and the character gains the paralyzed condition.
Paralyzed means you don't get to activate. You have to have your full activation, like cancelled, and then you can take the token off.
I think that was it. We'll go into it in a minute.
But why are you hitting yourself?
Why are you hitting
I'm hitting myself because there's something on me.
I'm insane. Look it up. So 4 to 6, you're fatigued. So the character falls into a moment of despair, assailed by thoughts of their loved ones, and struggles to decide what to do next. So you mean Tuesday. The character suffers the fatigue condition.
Which basically neg 1 action point.
Yeah.
Which can be removed. All of these, any conditions you get,
can be removed.
Can remove them with the recover or whatever it is. So yeah.
7 to 9, you're haunted. The ghost of its past haunts the character. Spectres linger just out of sight, and shadows dance on the periphery of their vision. All rolls made by this character suffer a -2 penalty for this activation. Ooh. And remember, most of these you're making at the start of your activation.
Yes, so it'll count for your whole activation, and you can't stop that because it's a madness table effect.
Yeah.
You can't do it with actions and...
No.
It's bad.
10 or 11, you gain clarity. So the character has thankfully had a moment of clarity, shaking their head. The temporary insanity passes and may be activated as normal this turn.
Nice. There you go.
And if you can critical success, then you're a conduit. You see the world with all its layers, and the path before you becomes clear. It acts as normal, but does not gain madness while spending myth during its current or next activation.
Okay, so maybe you do get myth. Maybe you do, because you act as normal, but it's not right. Spending myth during its current and next activation. So maybe you do.
That's something we're really going to have to, like, it might be in the FAQs or something.
Yeah,
We'll have to look up
that. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's what it says in the book, so that's what we'll see. Okay. Then they have those for tainted.
Yes.
So same sort of thing. You just it'll say tainted in their character thing. If they've got that on there, then that's the table. It could be someone who you consider to be mortal, but then they have a tainted trait, or they become tainted. And then
some of your Chronozon guys considered tainted?
Probably.
You were using Chronozon before?
Yeah, it's possible, yeah. And so you just, whatever you roll, you just look on there and you apply that effect. But, unless you're rolling like a 10 or more, you're gonna have something that's gonna be a problem. And that's why it's so bad to be on the altered side. Because you've got to roll on the table and you're gonna get an effect.
Yeah. Even the ones that flip themselves, I'm pretty sure they're all still rolling on this at the start of their turn. It's just, some of them will have an ability that says they don't have to do it.
When they flip, they don't. But yeah. When you're on the altered side, you have to roll. But I will look into that because, it's only the mortals that seem to have that. Yeah.
So the critical fail for most of them will be they're gone.
They're gone.
They disappear. They're not there anymore.
Removed from play. Yeah.
And the critical success, a 10 or 11 will give you some sort of... it either gives you a bit of a reprieve when you're not getting bad things happening to you, or it gives you some positive effect. Yeah. And then a critical success will give you some cool thing. So the tainted, they remove any conditions of the player's choice.
Oh, that's so nasty.
For myth, you get the vigor condition.
Oh,
which I think gives you extra actions.
It's the only condition on the list that's a benefit to you. All the others are bad. But yeah, you get +1 action, which is nice.
Oh dear. And then the Crypt Grub gets some weird stuff that it can do with the Guardians and Oracles and things.
That's right.
That are really cool.
Imagine that though. Yeah, like the critical success. If you've lost the Crypt Guardian or whatever, the big thing, it turns into one of those. It becomes like your leader, big monstrous. It's very cool.
So if your Crypt Grubs permanently roll on this, right? I think.
If they have a flip side. Okay. Yeah, they have a flip side.
They do have a flip side. So, but bear in mind, you have to get at least 2 natural 6s for this to happen. But if you can get 2 natural 6s when you're rolling on their madness table and you've lost your leader, the Crypt Guardian, which is the leader, it's like you just get a new one.
You get a new one.
It's just
there. Just boop.
He goes.
But that's just
it's insane.
I'd have that over vigor. A new leader. Oh.
Although vigor's pretty good.
Oh, it is. So if you have a leader that can get vigor on them,
that's that's your max 4.
That's it. Yeah. Step aside. Don't clean house. Right. So that is myth. And it's important to know that once you're rolling on madness tables,
it can get very bad very quickly, especially if you roll lots of ones.
There's a character for the Path of Chronozon, the lieutenant chick or whatever for the leader. Lydia, I think her name is. She has an ability where she can flip someone.
Oh yeah,
and it's back and forward. They're a bit weird. They go from altered to they're very, very strange. Yeah. But that's their unique thing because of how they are. And then she can flip you back and forward. So if you can do that way when you activate that character, they don't have to roll.